Countdown. Good morning, everyone. This is our first podcast. I'm Mason Rashtian. I'm here with Brandy Peaches McAdams, and we're going to talk about Pyles Boys Camp this morning. Hi, Brandy.
Hey, how are you, Mason?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So let's talk about Pyles Boys Camp. Tell me, what do you want to tell me about it? Tell me what they do, how long they've been around.
Yeah, so we've been around since 1949. Pyles Boys Camp started back in 1949 when Mr. Pyles, a gentleman who moved to Southern California from Texas, took a look around and saw following the war that there was a lack of positive male role models and that youth were suffering. So we were originally Pyles Boys and Girls Camp. And our hope is to get back to that original mission one day. But currently we serve young men between the ages of 12 to 14 for our first year program. We have a multi-year program. We take at risk or out promise, depending on how you prefer to say it, youth out into the wilderness for a 12-day leadership experience, and we provide year-round mentorship. So our first year program is kind of like your quintessential summer camp program. You get to do fun things like archery and horseback riding and backpacking. But our goal is to have a lesson and an intention behind every activity. So our young men walk away with a renewed sense of confidence, of self-accountability and responsibility and gratefulness for the things that they have when they return to the city. And it's a multi-year program. So you don't just come once, we grow you through our process.
So how many do you have at one point, would you say, per season?
Anywhere between 270 to 400 youth, depending on the school year. So if the school summer sessions allow for us to have more sessions, we will.
And how many sessions do you have per year?
So this year we had 3, and it's looking like we might be able to eke in a 4th session next year. And we just expanded our footprint. So historically, we've only ever been able to do 72 first-year campers at a time. But we just did an expansion project. So now we can do 90 campers, our first year camper program. So even though we lost a session last summer because of the summer sessions and summer starting earlier and earlier every year, as a parent, I'm sure you've noticed that it seems like summer keeps getting shorter. So we've come up with some creative ways to continue to serve close to 300 to 400 youth every year.
Wow. And I'm sure, I mean, with what's going on in the world, people can really use your help right now.
Yeah, the needs this past summer were pretty significant. Historically, Pyles is 100% free to the boys we serve and their families. So we provide everything from transportation, sometimes clothing and shoes, sometimes even toothbrushes and toothpaste, along with connections back in the city for families that are in that significant need of assistance so that they can have that support in their home. It's one thing to support these boys for 12 days and then send them back off the mountain and say good luck, and we send them back into an environment where they don't have the resources that they need to be successful. So we try to partner with community partners and social workers and law enforcement and firefighters and anyone in the community really that reaches out to make sure that when our boys leave the mountain, they're going back to a safe, healthy environment with all the support that family needs or requires.
Okay. So how can people support you guys? How can we help?
Oh gosh, so many ways. So Pyles is blessed and has been since its inception. So for the past 76 years, we have a very strong volunteer base. So a lot of times nonprofits just ask for money, but Pyles is unique in that we don't just ask for money. We ask for anything and everything you have to offer. So if you know of a young man in your community that needs support, we'd love to have him come join us at Pyles. So it's www.pylescamp.com or .org. Both will get you to me. And you can sign up any young man for camp 100% free. If you want to volunteer, we have plenty of activities all throughout Southern California that we would love to have extra support at. So we do reunion events in 5 different counties. So Kern County, we do reunions in Ventura, we do reunions out in LA County, all throughout the major counties in Southern California, to include Santa Clarita. And we have space for everyone to come and help participate in those reunion events. But if you are handy, and even if you're not so handy, if you're willing to come take a trip up the mountain, we have plenty of opportunities where we do work parties that end up saving our organization close to $20,000 to $30,000 a year annually because of the volunteer work that we have people do there.
So it sounds like you guys are not geographically exclusive to one location, right?
No, we serve 5 counties. So our system works because we partner greatly with community partners. So we call them selectors. And that can
Hmm.
be anything from your middle school principal to a guidance counselor to a football or basketball coach, to just a neighbor on the street who looks around and says, "Hey, I got like 5 boys here and they're all the right age and they're kind of getting up to no good. And I'd like for them to maybe make some better choices because this is my neighborhood. And I want to see these boys be successful. And I don't want the property value to go down. And I don't want to have to worry about my house getting broken into. Can you come help me out?" And the answer is a
Okay,
resounding yes. Yes, we
got
can.
it. And to get a hold of you again, they go on the website. Is that what they
Yes,
do?
they can go to the website, so www.pylescamp, Pyles camp.com, or you can just send me an email. It's Brandy, Brandie, at pylescamp.com.
Oh, okay, great. So what's coming up for you guys? Any new fun activities coming up?
Absolutely. So we just concluded our summer and we are heading into our 75th anniversary celebration this weekend up on the mountain. So we are going to have about 110 guests join us up on the mountain and celebrate 76 years of impact. So our program's really amazing in that we don't ask for money from those who come and participate. So all of our participants come for free, but we also offer scholarship opportunities. So we've
Hmm.
given out over $1.2 million in scholarships to help young men continue through our program and go after graduation either to trade school or to college. We have evacuated almost 30 tons of trash out of the backcountry. So
Wow.
we have a huge conservation effort every summer. Our young men compete against each other to see who's going to bring in the most trash from the backcountry. So while we are out there, we're constantly serving our communities. But one of the other fun things that we do is in the fall, our young men who joined us this past summer come back in their counties and we do work projects to give back to the community that made their trip to camp possible.
Got
So
it.
usually in Ventura, we go and we clear invasive species out of the botanical gardens. And so if anyone ever wanted to join us on one of those days, the door is always open. Just send me an email and I would love to connect you with those opportunities.
Ah,
Also
great. Okay.
partner here locally in Santa Clarita with I sit on the Santa Clarita Gang Prevention Summit, and we partner with a lot of nonprofits in the area to do outreach into the community and to do community service projects as well. And so there's also great opportunities to join in on a beautification day
Hmm.
here in Santa Clarita, where we go out and we serve some of the communities that might have less than others.
You know what I'm hearing, which I like. My son was in Cub Scouts,
Right.
and then he went all through Cub Scouts, and he was in Boy Scouts for a couple of years. But scouting is not what it used to be. So I assume you guys will help out with a lot of kind of taking over what scouting was in some ways.
So our founders, Mr. Pyles and
Mhm.
a gentleman named Smokey, both were heavy in Boy Scouts and prior military. So a lot of what our program has been designed has borrowed from Boy Scouts and from the
Good.
military.
Okay.
Uh, and so we've held on to that very firmly, as much as we can, those roots of giving back to the community and actually doing
Mhm.
conservation efforts throughout the community. We're blessed that our summer camp's up in the Sequoia National Forest, and we are surrounded by beauty all the time. And our young men leave camp with a strong appreciation of nature. A lot of them have come up and they've never seen a giant sequoia tree.
Wow.
And so they come up and they see these, Jeffrey pines, which are still pretty impressive trees.
Mhm.
And they go, "Oh my gosh, that's a really big tree. I've never seen a tree that big before." And then we just kind of pivot them to the side a little bit and they look up and they keep looking. And they're like, "What is that?" And we're like, "No, that's a tree." So it's a giant sequoia tree. So these young
Right.
men who've been surrounded by urban sites have never really gotten to breathe fresh air and really take in nature and see stars. That's a
Wow.
thing that we see. Our young men handwrite a thank you letter at the end of every session, which, if you know 13 to
Mhm.
14-year-old boys, that's a big ask. Just ask any teacher today and they'll tell you getting them to handwrite anything is impressive. But they handwrite a thank you letter and they talk about how beautiful the stars are and how they've never stopped and heard nature because it's so loud
Mhm.
in the city they can't hear it. But up at camp, They can hear the sounds of the birds. They can hear the
Yeah.
wind rushing through the trees. They can hear the water running over the rocks. They can see the stars at night. And we take that for granted.
Do you have an example of a young man that you may have helped?
Oh, absolutely. So that's an easy question. So Pyles in its history has served over 28,000 youth. And I used to tell a joke
Mhm.
when I would introduce people to Pyles that a young girl, myself, walk into a bar and to meet some Pyles men, and there's a cowboy from Kern County, biggest cowboy you've ever seen, a boy from the barrio, a kid from Compton, and a ginger from Orange County. And you think to yourself, what do these guys all have in common? Because they greet each other like brothers. And what they have in common is Pyles Camp. So the boy from the barrio is our current board president. He's ex gang member, now serves LA parole and probation as one of their advisors.
Mhm.
Our kid from Compton grew up during the race riots in Compton and graduated from Long Beach and now is on his
Wow.
fifth presidential detail as a Secret Service agent. The cowboy from Kern County actually started out terrified of horses, which is a hard thing to believe, and now runs a very successful farrier business, which is horseshoeing. For those who don't know horses, ferrying is horseshoeing, but runs his own business thanks to Pyles. And the young man, the ginger from Orange County, happens to be my husband. So I jokingly say I believe in the product so much I married it. And he is a retired lieutenant colonel from the U.S. Air Force who contributes Pyles Camp with having saved his life. That he was on a path
Wow.
of destruction, and Pyles redirected him to the military, and he served his country for 21 and a half years and retired and now flies for Delta. So at the end of the day, there's countless stories. Those are the easy ones. But there's countless stories of young men that we've helped. And the big takeaway there is, when
Mhm.
we change one life in our community for better, whether it's one of my young men or by helping out with another nonprofit, the whole community itself it wins.
Yeah, the butterfly effect, obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a lawyer, you meet people on their worst day and perhaps after they've made the wrong choice. But at Pyles, we meet them in the wilderness and we hope that we can redirect them away from engaging with law enforcement
Yeah.
and lawyers in general.
Okay, great. Okay. Is there one thing you want everybody to know while we're online?
Oh, if I could say one thing, first, I would like to always address the elephant in the room. We are waiting for a grant to come through to hopefully run our first pilot program for young women. So we're trying to get back to our roots, but that young men are being outpaced by young women in almost every single metric today. In engagement in higher education, it's a 3-to-1
Mhm.
ratio. In graduating from high school, in employment, jobs. And so just because we're a boys program, the most dangerous thing to me as a woman is a man who lacks character. And if I want to change this world for good, then I need to create more upstanding young men of character who are going to use their voice and their power and their presence for good. And so that is the mission that we have today, is to engage with all the young men that we see
Mhm.
and show them or redirect them to a positive path. So if you have a young man in mind that you think we might be able to help, even if he's older, on the older side, we have space for older young men in our program as well, because it's a multi-year program, so we can work them in. If you're looking for a summertime job and you like being outdoors, we're always hiring. That application usually opens up in January. And if you're looking to give back to your community, even if you're not local to Santa Clarita,
Mhm.
I serve 5 counties, so there's always an opportunity to serve somewhere.
What are the age groups again? Can you remind us?
Yes, so our first year camper program is from 12 to 14. Sometimes 15-year-olds, will keep them in that first year program. But from that point on, 15 to 18, we have space in other avenues that we can engage with young men and expose them to the Pyles program and help them grow as a person. So one of those is a work life prep program called the Trailblazer program. So we teach them financial literacy and life skills.
Ah, great. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So there's lots of avenues. So it's never,
Okay.
we'll find a place for you.
Well, good. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
So, um, we're about to finish. I hope this was enough. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or are we good?
There's a small chance that we might be running a local shredding event here.
Oh, absolutely. Tell us about that. Yes.
So I am a member of Teams,
Okay.
and we are going to likely host a shredding event here at the Santa Clarita office, and hope to have those details put out on our social media. So if you check out the website or look on Facebook for Pyles Camp, we'll be posting updates there.
And tell them about Teams again. What are Teams?
Teams is a wonderful networking group. So I call it a smaller chamber, if you will. So it's a nice little networking group that meets once a week and allows for individuals who represent different spheres of business to come together and refer each other and grow each other's businesses organically through word of mouth referrals versus having to pay for a big marketing team.
And what's the chapter name that you belong to?
Oh,
which teams? Which is the team member name?
What are we? TBD, to be determined. No, that's the inside joke. I'm trying to remember what our actual name is now. What is our actual name, Mason?
Team Building Development, TBD.
TBD. I was about to say I was right, but we jokingly call it to be determined. Forever to come up with the name.
All right. So I'm going to ask one question from every guest from here on, and that's going to be, if you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would you do?
Oh, if I could go back and tell younger me one thing is don't close the door. So I tell this to my kids and I tell this to the boys who come through our program that a lot of times in life you think to yourself, oh, well, that's not exactly the job I want. That's not exactly the opportunity I want. That position is, I'm too good for that position, or I'm too qualified for that role, or I don't have anything to learn from that role. And what following my husband around for 21 years in the military has taught me, and what this position has taught me, is that every single time that I said yes to an opportunity, even if I thought it was an opportunity that was short-lived or just a placeholder, I ended up a better candidate and a better human being because I said yes to every opportunity that came my way. And it really prepared me for this career shift. Because previously, and I still do it, I work as a nurse on the side, but I've shifted over to being the executive director of Pyles. And that shift was possible, and I was prepared for that shift because I said yes to every opportunity that came my way.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you.